What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Got another video for you guys today. 2009 Honda Pilot EXL all-wheel drive, well, four-wheel drive. Getting ready to do the rear brakes and rotors. So we already got the lugs off. Always use a jack stand for safety, and I have two in my case. I have one over here on the control arm and one over here is set 6-ton. That's a 3-ton over here. But anyway, I'm having some issues right now, so if your tire's not coming off after you take your lugs out, you might have to side kick him a couple of times. There we go. Got that guy off. All right, so I work on almost everything, but first time on the Honda Pilot for as the rear. Let's kind of scan around, see what we're gonna need. Feels like a 12 and possibly a 17 or 18 in the back. Let me verify and I shall return. All right, so I figured I'll show you guys where everything is before I get started. You will need a rotor removal tool for this job. It comes in a kit like this. 17 millimeter and a 1/2 inch breaker bar or a ratchet, and you're gonna need a 12 millimeter to remove your caliper bolts up there. They're pretty rusty, so I already hit them with WD-40 and stuff, so I'm gonna scoot some of this stuff out the way and show you what's happening underneath so you can know where everything's located. Okay, so caliper bolts, 12 millimeter there, and then on the inside in here you have your rotor screws. So you go on underneath, so one there where it's greasy, and then one up underneath. Those are your 17. So all right, let's sit back up and be right back. All right, so let's get to it. All right, in most cases you will need a rotor removal tool, and basically you're going to use a Phillips style, and you'll hit it with a baby sludge or a mallet to knock it, and this specific tool rotate up on impact. So in my case, these came out with just me turning them by hand. So let's go ahead and proceed on getting these loose, which they already are, and I was happy for that. Gonna probably put some anti-seize on them, but they were already loose, so I'm gonna keep them loose like they were and just hand tighten them. So yeah, all right, let's get to it. Switch out of the demolition gloves, excuse me. But yeah, always when I use anything heavy or hitting, I didn't bang my knuckles and stuff, so I try my best to use everything to not have to hurt myself. So yeah, that's why they make them. All right, and if you wanted to know, I've been using these gloves probably for about 6 days, as far as 6 repairs, and they're made by Diamond Grip. Eric the car guy recommended these, and I recommend them too. It doesn't hurt to protect your hands. It's like an extra layer of skin. So righty tighty, switch our wrench to lefty loosey. So in this case, we'll be going up. Get him on there good. Break them free. If yours are real rusty, I recommend use a 6-point instead of a 12-point because it might strip the socket. You can also use a ratchet, but ratchets are still 12 points. So depending on how rusty it is. All right, broke those free, and those feel like I can spin them out by hand. Let me gather a few things. Excuse me if I'm blocking the camera. All right, got that over here. Got my magnet tray. All right, let's spin these guys out, and they are loose enough. Help everybody see better. A little grease. But yep, I let this sit probably for about, say 5 to 10 minutes. I went on ahead and did something else, and I recommend you put them back in how they came out, top and bottom, just because sometimes when they're real rusty, they don't want to go back. First time doing a Honda Pilot, but I've done Odysseys and all those, so can't really remember. It's been a while, but I do believe, not quite sure, if these are twist in or pressure, or as pushing them back with either a C-clamp or something. Some styles you have to twist in. All right, so let's go ahead and compress this over a little bit more. There we go. And let's work it up and out. Probably could have pressed it some more over. All right, so this is the pushback style. so I don't think my ratchet guy over there is going to be able to do the job. So let's get the other kit. And I'm just going to spray some of this on there just to break it free. And let's get our brake pad kit. So you'll need one of these or a C-clamp. And in my case, I'm going to use this one. And we're going to find a nice plate. Let's see, it should be this size here, should work. Yep, should work great. Alright, let's get this caliper to sit still. Let's go ahead and get our kit to build up. Hopefully this caliper goes back without any issues. So let's build this guy. Alright, and let's see our distance. We're about there already, so let's back this all the way down. And let's add our plate. And if this one doesn't fit, I got the wrong one. Yep, this one doesn't fit. Got the wrong one. This one has like a little nipple on it, so it would have worked if it didn't have that. This one does too, but it's a lot bigger in diameter. So we're going to use this one instead. Alright, this one should go on no problem. There we go. Alright, let's get our caliper. And let's get our fake brake pad inside, and let's spin this guy up after we reset because I came off. And I wear glasses and I do not have 20/20, so let's back this on down to the plate. And they have a left hand and a right hand twist, that's why you're seeing two of these inside. So let's get this tight enough and let's begin the twisting process, and hopefully it goes back smooth. And I think it is. Yay. So that means if it's going back smooth, you don't have any issues. It means your caliper is doing its job for us compressing. It means you don't have a collapsed brake hose, so sometimes it'll be tight. If this swells too much, it kind of pinches the line. So as long as everything's going back smooth, and you shouldn't have to do it too hard, it should just go back smooth. Just like this. And you want it to go back flush. Some of them don't go back flush, but this specific one does. You have like a little lip around the rim, some calipers. All right, so we're almost there, and we're gonna hit it with some brake parts cleaner because we got some grit up in there. All right, hopefully that comes out pretty good. Hit it with some more blaster just to help eat the rust. So penetrant, and it's also an eater. All right, so we got that all the way back. All right, looks pretty good. All right, let's move this out of our way, and let's proceed on taking these pads out. And these are touching the rotor, so that's why we're changing the rotor as well. All right, get everybody out the way. Get ready for these 17 millimeters that I showed before. Hopefully the other side as far as the rear, and this is the rear if I didn't mention, so apologies for that. All right, let's check our guide pins, and this one's kind of froze, but it came out. And these are supposed to be lubricated, and you see all the dust coming out, so I'm glad it came out. I didn't have to bang it out, because sometimes in some cases these will break, or it'll stay seized in there and you'll have to just get a whole new caliper because they don't sell the brackets by itself. But see this one, I'm gonna leave it over here. I'm not gonna sit it back inside because of how it looks, and it's just dry. So I'm gonna get brake parts, brake grease and everything to lube that back up. So we got one off. Seen one of the clips come over, grab it. Don't need this, but if you lose one, this is your screamer, and I'll show you in a minute. Let's keep that one just in case. This side over here is touching the rotor. Pretty hard to come out, and you can see the wear on this guy, how it wore down compared to the inside, and that comes from the guide pin sticking as well. So these are down pretty bad. The rotors aren't too bad, but I'm going to change them just because I bought them. All right, so now let's break apart this, break free these rotor bolts. All right, we know what we need. that, let me move out of the camera. And let's get these bolts break free. Hopefully I can get clearance at this one up here. If not, I'm gonna have to use an extension. Let's see. Looks like I'm clear. So, in that case, just want to double check because I don't want to hit the neck of my sway bar back here. So let's see if I can go behind it a little further back, and I'm gonna end up bumping my shot. So we're gonna try it real quick. If not, I have a 17 swivel head that I'll use, but this should do it, hopefully. And I'm not gonna pop it in the peg just in case I get stuck. Move this out the way, and let me get set. You seen those? Right, tight, lifty, loosey. All right, that was free. And I'm glad I didn't have to go a different route about this. All right, so getting my ratchet set, just breaking them free. Excuse me for being in the way. Breaking them free. It's kind of tight back in here, so just kind of make sure you don't bump up against your sway bar. So since these are broke free, let's break this all the way down and move it. And let's get a 17mm ratchet wrench, or you can use a regular, but yep, be right back. All right, so we got everything broke free, got our caliper back, got all our rotor screws loose. So let's go ahead and take those guys on out. And one, we got two, and then we'll proceed on checking our brake pads, making sure everything's good. I went with a company off of Amazon. They're called Brake X, and decided to try them out. They had a good review. I believe I spent $220 plus tax for the whole kit, front and rear, both sides, pads and all. Came with clips, came with streamers, and let's match up the pads and make sure they're correct. I decided to go with them to save $500, well $300, because they were quoting me $5 something at the parts store. So yep, let's check them out. And they look good already. Let's go ahead and bust this pack open. And you have to add your clips on. I'll do that here in a brief moment. All right, light about to die. All right, so I made them like this, and they are correct. So that means the rotors are correct. They came in a set. So yeah, looks good. So set this one up with our screamer. So let me just tear the bag open. And I'll leave that one there so I can see it. All right. Move all this extra foam out the way. And we don't want to lose anything. All right. So you have this piece here. Let me just come over closer to the camera. All right. So this is your screamer here. You're going to rock it in or out, whichever way, on this spot right here. So it's going to sit here. And let me pop it back in. So you rock it on here, and you might have to mash it quite a bit. So now that I got it in there, I'm going to use my screwdriver to pop it in. So it's supposed to sit out just like that to start screaming at you. So let's get this screwdriver and pop it on in. And this one sits kind of sideways, so let's move it. And center it a little better. And I think we're there. Not quite. Let's go a little bit further over. And now there we are. All right, so we got that one set up. The screamer's going to go on the inside. You can do top or bottom way you set this up. So I think I'm going to go screamer at the bottom. Looks like it'll fit better. All right, so got that pad set for the screamer. The other screamer goes on the other side, so you only have one per pad, one per side. All right, let's go ahead and back these guys out with our 17 millimeter. That's because it's gonna be tight, and we're probably gonna lose this light here in a minute. And let's turn this one back on. So we got our guide pins out. This will probably start flashing in a minute. So we're going up, left, and let's do it. And let's go ahead and pop this guy out. I already know I gotta relube it. This one has more lubrication than the bottom one does. So let's just sit it to the side. Sometimes they're the same, sometimes they're not. Let's just verify these might be the same. And they look like it, but still go back in top bottom how they came out. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and proceed on getting this guy out. And let's do it. If I quit messing up, there we go. But yeah, I was knocking up against it, so I figured I'd just slide it on out the way. All right, got that one loose pretty good. I'm trying not to block the camera. That's okay. We need it out the way anyway. Go back up. Could have got an impact or something in there, but just to be safe, and it doesn't hurt to work out a little bit. All right, that one's pretty free. And let's get this one the same. All right, now one out. Same thing, go back in, top, bottom, how they came out. So let's do that, top, bottom on the tray. Bracket comes off. Now, let's match up our brake clips and start banging out this rotor. Definitely going to use them. Worst case scenario, you just got to clean them up real good. So, let's do a comparison. They should be universal, both sides. And they are. Only difference is this one has a little lip on it up at the top. Let's flip them over, match them up. Everything looks great, except for these are old. So we'll fly with it and see what we get and go from there. All right. Let's drop those back in. All right, so that one didn't, but this one has our little wing clip on it up here. So yeah, yep, these are the same. It's great. All right, so now we're gonna start spinning this guy and whacking it. Get it on off. Hopefully it comes off freely for us. Spray some WD-40 around the hub just to help out. You don't have to. It might help, it might not. It might just come off good, but it doesn't hurt to make sure and help get the job done easier. Need some swinging room. All right, so I'm gonna spin it and hit it at the same time all the way around. That one came out pretty good. Now I can just tap it back, spin it a little more, and it should slide right off. All right, you should have a little lip here. These are your parking brakes, so these look pretty good. I'm not gonna mess with them. I usually don't mess with them anyway. I'd rather take them somewhere and pay somebody, because it's too much of a headache for me to play with all this extra stuff, and I don't like to anymore. So yeah, it takes too much time for me, so I'd rather pay somebody. That's just me personally. So yep, now we got that rotor off. Let's match up our new rotor from BrakeX. All right. Now you will need brake parts cleaner. They do come with grease on them from the factory. And you don't want any grease on your pads. And yay, they look pretty and they look great. All right, so let's match them up. They should mate just like that. And let's make sure they're the same all the way. And we're looking good. All right, so let's proceed on the installation on these guys. So we're going to transfer our rubber grommet, and remember to line up your rotor screws when you go back in. Okay, so our rubber grommet goes here next to our rotor screw there. And let's pop it up and out. And sometimes you might have to push on it pretty good. Let's see. Yep, and it doesn't want to come out for me, so let's see if we can do it this way. And just kind of work it around and it'll pop out. So let's transfer that to this guy and just kind of mash on it. And you might need the screwdriver again to help assist. And there we go. And it's back in the spot. All right, now it's time to put stuff back together. Let's go ahead and spray this side with the brake parts cleaner. No grease on these. All right, now a rotor screw. Let's line these guys up. Let's get another light cracking. All right, rotor screw is here. So let's line that up with that guy. All right, got that on. Let's get these rotor screws in. Top, bottom, how they came out. And I'll slide our tray back on. All right, so they came out so smooth. We're going to go back in the same way, and we're just going to put a little brake grease on it. Let's put those back for a second. And I never have luck tearing these open, but today I did. Look at today, great day. So you just need a little bit. I'm not gonna use all this on there. I just need it not to lock up. So that should be enough for both. All right, just wipe my fingers around on it like that. And don't do that, just drop it. And now I gotta re-clean it. No grip, no grime. And that was my bad. So we're gonna put a little more on there. Just enough to get on there. Okay. And let's do it. I'm gonna have to adjust your rotor a little bit, unless I don't have it on the right sleeve. Let's double check. And we do have it on the right sleeve. But it's always good to double check just to make sure stuff goes correct. Probably didn't have it back far enough, and now we do. Either that or the hole might be offset just a tinge. Let's take a peek. And let's see. And that's my bad. These are the screw holes to actually help pull out the rotor. So that is my bad. So now I got to pull this out, which is no problem, and match up the bevels. Okay, so I knew something was up. So let's spin it around. All right, I'll slide it back on. Now let's proceed. We're all human, and you want it to bite, and we want these just hand tight. And I'll tighten them both at the same time. I just want to get them both in. And you don't want any Loctite on these or anything. They're just supporting the rotor, so you're just going to hand tighten it, okay? You don't have to super do it, just enough. So you want to be able to get them out again, in case you need new rotors. All right, now that we're there, let's go ahead and pop these out. I'm gonna try to do this with the clips right now. These are pretty rusty, so if yours are real rusty, you're gonna have to clean them up so you can get them to slide in. Okay, so this one's pretty rusty as well. Let's use our screwdriver to pop it up. Yeah, I like making full videos because some people don't know how to do these things. And it's okay to show the quick stuff, but when you go through certain things and you run into certain things, you want to be able to see and do the job correctly, especially if you're new to doing this stuff and you just like to do stuff for yourself and you like to save money. All right, so we got that cleaned up pretty good. Let's grab our new brake clips, and they should go on flush. Do not put any grease on these on the outside as far as trying to get them to slide up in here. You want them on there real good, and you want to mash them up in. And I'm going to put it back on the vehicle to show you a little different as far as if you had to do it on the vehicle too, because you may not need to change your rotors. So I'm doing this now just because. Now I'm going to put this one on, and then I'm going to show you what I've done at the bottom there. Okay, let's go ahead and get our bracket back on. Go, got her in this place. Give it some wiggles. Make sure you get set. And if you can't get the top first, go with the bottom. So I'm just switching over there. All right, so we got the bottom one to start. And let's get the top one. And these do have Loctite on them. So once you get it to start, you may or may not get them to spin all the way back in. And if you do, let's make sure we have no debris, just to make sure no cross threading is happening. You don't have to hit the Loctite area. Give some wiggles. All right, feels pretty good. Let's get our 17 ratchet and let's test it, make sure we're good. Yep. And if it's not going smooth when you first start, just stop, because you're going to cross thread and you're going to end up breaking something or still having to take it into the shop to get this out. All right, almost tight there. Just going to get it close. Come up top, do the same, get it close, and you want to kind of tighten them at the same time. This one's still hand tight a bit. All right, let's get our ratchet again. Tight. Tight. All right, so now that we're in there, usually you can take, well, you can hit the neck of your ratchet, but I'm not going to do that. You don't want to tear up your ratcheting wrenches. I used to do that, and then I beat them up and then have to replace them. But we got our breaker bar, and we got to loosen it. So make sure it's set. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Right, left loosen. All right, this specific one says on and off. So we want our leverage, so let's get this tight and we'll put this last clip in and put our pads in. All right, let's get the bottom one in first. Slipped off on me a little bit. Just make sure we're good and it getting rounded or anything. No, we did not. All right, so I'm gonna support the neck since this one's flex head. And that should be enough. Let's correct this one, make sure. And that was good as well. All right. Now this clip, we already cleaned it out. Should just face in and it should just rest right in. And then you want to check your rotors to make sure it's not scraping, and that's good. It went in. That's the smoothest clip that I've had in the last couple weeks, so I love it. All right, some people do, some people don't. I usually take a little bit of brake grease like that rub it on my fingers, and I'll just hit all my contact spots. Do not glob it. Just gonna cake up and keep them from gliding in and out. So it's just enough just to make it slippery, okay? Now, before I done that, I should have did this. Get all that grease off. All right, so now it's nice and crispy. Like I said, you don't have to use that to put these in, but yeah, some people do, some people don't. As far as using that brake grease, but you definitely should put some on the outside of your pads, okay? So let's go back in at the bottom. Hopefully it goes in smooth for me today. And the back side is hard to show, and you just want to kind of work it in. There we go. That one went in smooth as well. I love today. All right, same thing with this side. Get your bottom in first, and kind of at the edge, then kind of rock it in, and both of them at the same time. I don't always have smooth days like this, but I'm kind of, well, not kind of, I am very grateful that this is going well for me and for you guys to see it. All right, so now that we got those in, let's go ahead and lubricate this on the outside. And we got to still clean up this guide pan. It's pretty bad. So yeah, we got to clean that up, the bottom one. All right, so we're going to coat this. Not a whole lot. Just enough to make it slippery. Like that. No globs. All right. Now, let's clean this guy up. Hopefully you don't have to do this and yours slide in and out freely. But this one is pretty darn bad. And I believe I moved my brush. There it is. We're going to clean this up pretty good. If you have a wheel grinder, those work too. But you want all this off as much as possible. And this is why I like doing full videos, because this kind of stuff, sometimes it's just not changing the brakes. And it doesn't have to be super clean, but you want it at least most rust free as possible, especially if it's real gritty rusty. You want that off as well. All right, so you want a generous amount now on this. You want to glob it. Nice generous amount, and let's just glob it all around. And sometimes I'll take some like this and stick in the hole in the back, just to make sure that's lubricated as well, a little bit more, and it doesn't hurt. Okay, got that on. Let's go ahead, and sometimes you might hear it might be hard to get in. It'll create an air pocket, so you just kind of work it and then get it to pop in. Get our rubber pieces on, and they'll mash themselves in through time, but you want it to move freely like this. And yeah, we got enough lube on there. Great. All right, let's go to the other one, and this is the same process for the other side, which I will not do on camera, so just follow the same process. And definitely don't hurt to do a full video. Nice amount, glob it. Don't make it super sloppy, but yeah, you want to glob it over there. And let's put some in there too. Don't recall. And it doesn't hurt. So there we go. Let's go ahead and slide these in. And we already got our caliper back. And we will be putting it back now. Let's go ahead and flip it back over. And slide it over our pads. And these have little these are rectangles, so they're going to slide on the little groove. Let's see. All right, you want them to rest on that groove right here. Just like that. All right. Let's do bottom first since we're here. We might have to wiggle it a little bit. Get it to start. And if it don't, we'll switch to the top. Get that one start first. Thought I felt it bite a little bit. I think we're going. Yay, it's just real loose. Okay, so we're going. Let's get the top one in. This should be lined up, and it is. And you want to tighten as much as you can by hand. And we're about to stop. And we're tight. Let's grab my ratchet, set it to righty-tighty. All right. And let's crank them down tight. One. Go to the other one. Sorry if I'm blocking the camera. All right. Give them some smacks. Just like you did when you took it off. And when your wrench starts to bounce back like that, you're tight enough. And we are done with the passenger side on the 2009 Honda Pilot EXL. This should be the same process for the rear on the other Pilots as well. I believe the 09s and up, unless they change it. But yeah, thanks for watching the channel. Hopefully this helps you out on changing your rear brake pads on rotors on your vehicle. And hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you will, if you feel like it. Yeah, please subscribe. And to the next video, always remember on these things, rust is the enemy, which causes us to work so hard. And to the next video, guys, I am out.